Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday and another tough love Thursday. I hope that you are having a great week. I'm so excited to dive in again. I'm loving these little quick, short, tough love truth bombs that I get to share with you each and every week. I hope you're loving them as well. If you are catching this live in my private Facebook group, let me know in the comments below if you're loving these, if you have any other topics you would like me to speak on. I welcome your feedback. I am always looking for ideas to support you more. And of course, if you're listening on the podcast, reach out to me as well. Come find me on Instagram or Facebook and let me know. Are you loving these Tough Love Thursdays? Are they helpful? Are they supportive? Obviously, that's my goal here. And I want to make sure that they're really landing for you because I have many, many more in store. I have a whole list I'm working through of things that I want to share and just drop in here for all of you in these short little segments. So let's dive in then. Without further ado, let's get into today's. I was, as per usual, really sitting with this morning of what topic do I really feel is needed today? And what came through pretty clearly is, are you ready? Are you ready for the tough love truth? I want to make you wait on the edge of your seat for it. So here's the tough love for today. There was a part of you that absolutely wants to stay addicted to sugar. There is a part of you that loves that you're addicted to sugar and is getting something from it. So what I mean by this, because if this is the first time you've ever heard me share this or anyone talk like this, you might be thinking, well, what are you talking about, Danny? Of course I don't want to be addicted to sugar. It's ruining my health. It's ruining my relationships. I feel horrible. And I just want to no longer be controlled by sugar, right? We have this huge part of us. And if you're listening to this, either on the podcast or on Facebook, you want to get off sugar. You want to finally feel at peace with food and feel healthy in your body. But there's also a major part of you that loves that you're addicted to sugar. So this is what I want to bring light on today, because these unhealthy patterns, which is what addictive behavior is, it's an unhealthy, maladaptive pattern that at some point in time was a coping mechanism, usually in your early developmental years. And the truth is, as human beings, we are benefit driven. We do not do things unless they benefit us on some level. And sometimes that benefit may be really hidden. It might be really sneaky. You might say, well, what's the benefit in that thing that I just did? There was a benefit. We are innately driven towards things that reward us in some way. Now, that may be a physical reward of feeling great in our body, right? Eating healthy would be a good example of that. It may be a mental reward of not having to do something hard. It might be an emotional reward. It might be a relationship reward. There's a lot of intrinsic rewarding and benefits that show up here. And when we talk about your relationship with sugar, your binging patterns with sugar, your addictive behaviors with sugar, we can start to ask the question of what benefit am I getting from staying hooked on sugar? What benefit am I getting? Because I guarantee you are getting a benefit. And that is one of the reasons why you have not been able to kick the addiction, to overcome the hurdles that you've been through, because there is still a massive internal benefit that you are getting. Externally, it looks like there's no benefits, right? Your health is suffering, your relationships are suffering, you feel miserable, but there is. And often when we start to look in this direction, we start to see that the benefit that we may be getting, or you may be getting specifically, from staying in the sugar roller coaster may actually be more than the perceived benefit of getting off the sugar roller coaster. This is where the fascinating psychological phenomenon happens, where if we're benefiting more from staying on sugar than what our brain has made up to believe may be the benefit after getting off sugar, right? We all have a story of that. Oh, when I get off sugar, I've seen other people, they feel better in their body, they lose weight, right? They're not obsessing over food all day, right? The benefits that you cognitively maybe understand that you may get when you get off sugar. but it's perceived because you maybe don't have the lived experience of that yet, the embodied experience. So there may be a disconnection or an imbalance in the benefits, the psychological benefits that are at play subconsciously for you that are keeping you going back to sugar, because that is more benefit. So some of the things that I want to highlight for you, you might be wondering, Danny, what the heck, what could be the possible benefits of me staying hooked on sugar? Other than it tastes good and it gives me joy, what are the other benefits here that are massive for many, many women that I work with? Number one is when we stay in our addictive, numbing out coping mechanism patterns, we get to conveniently avoid having to do something difficult, having to change or challenge ourselves, or heaven forbid, experience pain. Because as soon as you release the sugar and the numbing out blanket, comfort blanket, it may mean that you're going to have to feel pain. You're going to feel more. You're going to experience more. You're going to have to work through some traumas. You're going to have to work through some things when that is no longer there. When your escape hatch, your security blanket is no longer there. So by keeping that security blanket subconsciously, it's a very great hack because we don't actually have to change. We don't have to do anything difficult, right? We get to just stay in the known zone of our addictive patterns. Nothing has to change. And there's a part of us that loves that. It's also that part of us that hates getting out of its comfort zone, because when we do something different, so change or stepping outside of our comfort zone, it means that we're not safe because it's unknown. Subconsciously, our nervous system knows that things that we've never experienced before could kill us. Essentially, right? We don't know what is lying out there because we've never experienced it. So that fear of the unknown, of how am I going to get through the day if I give up sugar, right? My crutch is gone. How am I going to approach difficult emotions if I'm not binge eating and emotional eating? So these are a couple major reasons and really sneaky ways that we get a benefit out of staying in our unhealthy patterns. So other really big benefits that I see with staying on sugar is that it helps us feel more connected with people around us. Sugar is a big one with this. Sugar and drinking, right? When we're at a party, when we're going to someone's house, there's always sugar, right? And it helps us if we're partaking in eating the sugar or talking about the sugar or baking with sugar, right? We get to feel a part of society, right? Because this is the way our world works. Everybody runs on sugar. So we get to feel like we're normal in a way, right? And we're getting to be a part of the community around us that is also being run on sugar. So getting off of sugar does call you to be a little bit of the black sheep, maybe in your friend circle, maybe in your family. And that is really, really challenging. Subconsciously, you're not going to want to do that, right? It can be really uncomfortable. And another benefit that I see a lot of women getting, myself included, from any unhealthy pattern is it really gives us a scapegoat. It gives us this beautiful excuse as to why we haven't reached our goals or why we haven't changed. It lets us play the blame game. It lets us stay in and have an excuse for our current struggles. So we get to complain. Oh, I'm so tired. I'm still hooked on sugar and I can't get off. And we get to connect with people in our complaining and also blame that we can't lose weight or we're having poor sleep. We can blame it on sugar instead of ourselves. So you can see these are just a few, but I want to point these out for you. We go so much deeper into these sneaky subconscious mindset tricks and self-sabotaging patterns in my Break Free from Sugar program that is kicking off early 2024. You can come get your name on the wait list. I'll post that link below this video in the show notes. But I want you just today to become hyper aware and become curious of what benefits you are currently getting emotionally, subconsciously. What are you getting to avoid that's difficult? That is actually a benefit. Avoiding to have something, do something difficult is a benefit. I don't have to deal with that thing. That's a gift, right? So there's a lot going on under the surface here. And I want you all to remember to also have compassion for yourselves in these patterns, right? We're shining light on some patterns today and every Thursday and every episode I do on the podcast. They were here to serve you at a time, right? These adaptive patterns, these old neural pathways, the old stories, the old ways of doing, protecting yourself, right? We're here to serve you at a certain time. And it's up to you to decide whether or not they're still serving you. And I'm willing to bet if you're trying to get off sugar, they are no longer serving you. And this is one of the pieces that you need to overcome to create a benefit that is so much more valuable when you get off sugar versus all these excuses and things that you're getting from it now. So reflect on those. That's your action item, your homework item. What benefits are you getting from staying hooked in your unhealthy patterns, staying hooked on sugar, staying in the addictive cycle and the roller coaster? And let me know in the comments below here on Facebook if you're watching, or send me a DM if you're listening to this on the podcast. Would love to hear and keep this conversation going. There you have it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for another Tough Love Thursday. I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye, everyone.